Hey guys, it's Corey Ross and welcome to 6 News. So today we have leaks for Season 2 of Year 3. This is the Italian season and this information is relatively credible. So let's go through this. We've got a couple of posts to go over. So first is the Year 3 Season 2 New Gadgets leak by Artix3. And this guy has given credible information before that I'm going to show you, so you can show you how credible he is. And we also got this post by Benzimus75, which shows lion with the wrong name. And this is actually an Italian word for target. So there's nobody to confirm if this has actually been seen, but it kind of links into this post about the new gadgets. So we'll get to that in a second. So let's talk about the history of Artix3. If we go to one of his previous posts, this was posted 2 months ago, and it was leaks for Operation Chimera. Now, all this stuff was data mined from the actual game, the actual live game at the time, and this was all references found in the live game. So the information is going direct from the game, so of course direct from Ubisoft, but of course it's also really early development stuff, so it could be completely and utterly wrong, and we're going to go over exactly how correct and wrong this information was. So first of all, there was 3 weapons that popped up. The POF-9, the Sartic 308, and the AA-12. And this gun did show up. This is actually Finka's weapon. So it's actually the spear. And that ended up in the game. These other 2 did not. We don't know what this is. And of course the AA-12 shotgun. However, he did point out that these could be for future seasons. He has no way of telling if they're being developed for the current season or future seasons. So it could be we might see this in the future, possibly, but we don't know. He then went in about Outbreak mode, and that it was codenamed in the game as Fury. Now, he said there was 2 variations, a campaign and dungeons. Of course, what we ended up getting with the live game was just a campaign. And he also said there would be 3 maps that he found in it. And this, again, you could data mine the game as well and find these references. So this was all stuff that could be verified. And he found Junkyard, Hospital, and Resort as maps for Outbreak, which of course ended up being the case. We ended up with Junkyard, Hospital, and Resort in Outbreak, so that ended up being bang on. He then found enemy types that were called the Grunt, Rhino, so the Rhino is probably the Charger, the Rooter, the Critter, which I'm guessing the Critter is probably the Breacher, and the Leader, which is now called the Apex. And then he was able to get some of the objectives for Outbreak's campaign, which is dramatically different from what we actually got. So this whole bit here about finding the APC, getting to the top of a house, getting to the extraction point, none of that happened in the Outbreak that we know. There's another one where you got a police station, get to the armory, defend the garage, and none of that happened. Then we had the reach the hardware store, welcome center, reach the gun store, go to the resort, none of that happened. And then we kind of get into familiar territory here where we recover equipment and reach the hospital. But we don't have anything about observing a leader. I did do a video just recently on a Patient Zero that was concept art for a cosmonaut from the actual pod. So maybe that was it. Although the leader obviously could have just been an Apex. So yeah, it's probably more likely it was just an Apex you were watching. Then we've got the diner and then going on to the barn. That does happen in that correct sequence in the live game, so that's bang on. And of course, destroy the space capsule, which we do in the live game too. So this is all his previous information, which did end up being relatively accurate in some cases. So let's look at his new stuff. This is really interesting. So first of all, there's a reference to a bulletproof camera, which would be interesting. That would maybe be a variation on potentially Valkyrie, although you could also have that on the attacking team, like shooting a camera into a room that can't be destroyed. That would be quite interesting. But of course, it could also be a defender one too. A decoy projectile, and also decoy projectile spawns a hologram. Now, going back to this Italian name we have here, could it be that that guy's name translates to target? Could this be his gadget? He actually spawns a hologram, which of course would be a target for the enemies. That is a surprising matchup. It's quite amazing that both of these posts were posted within like a few hours of each other. So it kind of seems interesting. That could be that it's his gadget and he's able to create holographic decoys. Now, that would work again on attack or defense very easily. I could definitely see the defenders being able to use that very tactically, and of course the attackers as well being able to use that tactically. And it being a projectile, something you can shoot, would be really handy. So, kind of loving that. And considering the information he's put out before has been somewhat accurate, we can think that some of this might end up in the game. But of course, we've seen from another one that a lot of it might not. So from this information that he has found here, he says, so we can conclude that we will be able to have different looks on the hologram, and we will also be able to see the locations of our hologram on the HUD, so like Legion's trap, and it might scan the enemies it encounters, which is very cool. Like imagine someone shoots this decoy, that could then automatically spot the person that shoots at. That's my kind of thinking anyway on how this might work. And that'd be quite interesting. I think a decoy hologram is something that a lot of people thought would happen. I actually thought it was going to happen with Vigil. That was kind of my initial thought of what his ability was going to be. So I'm totally up for this. This would be quite interesting. And he says, as for the rest, we're still in the blind. I already leaked the new weapons such as the POF-9 and the AA-12, but it's unsure whether they are for Season 2 or Season 3. It could also be that they're weapons that were put into development to be made, but they might not actually make it into the game. So it's a possibility that they just won't show up at all. But considering those references are still in the game, might mean we are going to get the A12 and whatever this POF-9 gun is as well. So yeah. And he says he is going to check back with the mid-season reinforcements if there's any other things that will appear in the future. So we might see more posts from this guy appearing on this channel in the future. Of course, there'll be links to all of these posts in the description below, and you can go check them out and tell me what you think about this. A holographic decoy and a bulletproof camera. This could be pretty damn sweet. Or will it be as overpowered as Lion is? Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.